30th of May 2024. This is one of that staring into the fire, looking at the coals and the ashes videos of mine, and I'm just gonna share some of my thoughts. Here in South Africa we had our election yesterday, and from the preliminary results things doesn't look promising for decent people. I'm talking about the decent people now, the right-minded people, the people that are interested in making the country work and be a success. The forerunners, you can see, is all dreamers, fuckers that don't give a shit about you and me. They're only concerned about their seats. Why is that? Since the early 80s, around about the early 80s, things started changing in the political environment. Up to that time, most of your politicians, people sitting in parliament, people sitting in committees, people in the cabinets and so, were professional people. People that either had a good business background, was successful in whatever he was doing, and he was now serving his community. But in the late 80s, politics started becoming a career. You saw these guys, they go to university, they study some fucking tree climbing degree, and then they go into politics, and that's all they have. They don't have a business background, they don't have anything. If they lose that seat, they're jobless. And most of them are unemployable. And this is what is currently happening in South Africa. The dumbest of the dumb people are sitting in parliament. There's people there sitting there, they can't read and write properly. They cannot read accounting documents, but they vote on budgets and things like that. And that is happening in national parliament and in the provincial parliaments and in the municipalities. Dumb people. And that is the reality that we have to deal with. But if I look around the world, the Western world, I see some signs that right-minded people are beginning to growl. You have a situation that there's a crop of liberal politicians, or most of them coached by Klaus Schwab and his WEF. And those people are in positions of power. And they are there and they are driving an agenda, the XXX agenda. They don't give a shit about the people, and the citizens are suffering. Right across the Western world, you've got one thing. These politicians will just increase taxes. They keep on increasing taxes, taxing you on this, taxing you on that, taxing you on that. You work your ass off to make ends meet, and you can never get into a comfortable position because they will always find a new tax or a new fee or a new something to add on to take money from you. And the worst part of it is us that are financing these fuckers. We have no say in how that money is spent. You see here in South Africa, those politicians sitting in Cape Town, they're getting obscene salaries. Then on top of that, they've got obscene benefits. They've got ridiculous pension benefits. They've got full medical cover. They need and want nothing. Everything is there. We saw it during the pestilence. We, the people, were suffering like hell. We, the people, were losing our livelihoods. But the fucking politicians were sitting at home zooming one another, and they got salary increases. Now, I can't understand why the people are taking it, but we are taking it, so we have to take the suffering with it. We're allowing these bliksems to get away with all their shit. We're sitting here in South Africa, election was yesterday, and the fucking people went and they voted for the same people that fucked them up during the pestilence. The same people that shut their businesses down, the same people that locked you into your home, the same people that prevented you from working, and worst of all, the same fucking people They poisoned you. But you voted for them again yesterday. So, Moses 6 verses 6. Stupid people must fucking suffer. That is how it is written, and that is how it's playing out. For many, they are now in the realm of Moses 6 verse 13. Fuck around and find out, and the people are finding out. You see these fucking people, they bitch about shurits in their streets, but they vote for the same fuckers again. So, they want to suffer. Then, grant them their wish, make them suffer. This ANC, with the DA, with the EFF, with the Freedom Front Plus, they've got fucking serious cock plans for you. Look at these laws that Cyril so quickly signed these past few days. All of those things are aimed at fucking your life up, taking your freedoms away, taxing you into oblivion. But you voted for the fuckers again. But that's how it will work, and it will not stop. I have always said, not always, I started about 8 months ago, saying that in the end, it's only the tribes that will survive. And a lot of people thought I was crazy. But if you look at what's happening right through the West, you can see signs of tribal awakening. And this XXX fuckers fear that the most of all. Listen to Mbalula shouting out that the ANC will fight tribalism with everything they have. Why? Because that ANC does not represent a single tribe. They know if the people go tribal, they're gone. They know it. But yet there's a lot of stupid people that are still voting for them. And they are the people that ANC are the main drivers of the destructive force that is aimed at wiping all of us out. This is where we are. And then I get to a thing that makes me fucking angry. A lot of people made statements. South Africa is 80% Christians. Fuck that. That is bullshit in every aspect. If you look what happened at the polls yesterday, there was only one party that openly proclaimed to be a Christian party and that promoted biblical rules and realities. Only one party. And go and look at the votes that they got. Not much. And that tells me that the born-again Christians in South Africa that voted yesterday is a fucking small number. But that is their choice. If you, and I've said it, if you are a born-again Christian, you cannot vote for any party that promotes this gender confusion because it's unbiblical. It's against the word of God. So if you vote for them, you are not a born-again Christian because you're voting for Satan. Now you can jump up and down and rip your fucking hair out and shout at me, but don't come into the comments and swear at me. But that is the truth. If you're a born-again Christian, you cannot support a political party that promotes this gender shit. That is the first point. Secondly, you obviously don't care about your children because they've got satanic plans for your children. Look, you must go and look in detail what is in that Bella law. Go and look, and you will pass out. But you decided, no, it's a good plan to vote for the Satanists, and you voted for the Satanists. Now the devil is going to run your life. You voted for him. And I am absolutely astounded about this. I cannot believe that people proclaim to be Christians and then they vote for Satan and for Satan's disciples. and for Satan's agents. That's what they do, but they proclaim to be Christians. But that's their problem. They'll have to go and one day face God with that and tell him why they did it. That's not my problem. I voted with my conscience, and I'm happy with my vote. And of course, I have to accept the results, and I will do that. But we, the people, better understand very clearly. The politicians are the instruments in the hands of XXX to destroy our lives. I saw this news article today. Eskom is now on the case of NASA. They want to change their billing system. They want to punish the owners of their own solar installations. How is that? You took a huge financial risk to make sure you can survive through the load shedding and provide for yourself as much as possible. Now they're going to penalize you for that. They can't supply electricity, but they want to penalize you for providing your own electricity. How the fuck did that happen? But you voted for the parties yesterday that are all in favor of those things. So, I spoke about this thing about Eskom long ago. And I said, you must watch out what's going to come. People are now providing their own electricity. And by the time Eskom gets their shit sorted out, there's not going to be people that want to buy their shit anymore. And that is exactly what's happening now. The demand for Eskom power is falling. And now they're going to penalize you for making provision for yourself. But that is what we have. I am of the opinion that South Africa can only survive by balkanizing. And let's see what's going to happen, because this election is going to leave a lot of angry people out there. It looks like about half of the registered voters voted, and somewhere in the 50%. That's already very disturbing. And if you look at a country where they estimate the population at 56 million, only 27 million was registered to vote, and of that 27 million, it seems to me that around about 10 million has voted. So 10 million out of 65 million has chosen the leadership of the country. Is that a democracy? I don't think so. But people need to understand. XXX wants to destroy our food production, and they are dead set on it. They're driving this climate change bullshit to make it possible for them to take full control over our food. So the day that you go there to the supermarket and the doors are closed and you can't get in, don't cry. Remember this day, because that is what is coming. During the pestilence, they made sure to shut all the small businesses down and destroy that small businesses sector, all in favor of the chain groups. Today, the chain groups are ruling everything, but the chain groups belong to XXX. So XXX picks the phone up, one phone call, and the local supermarkets don't open tomorrow morning. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because that is what's going to happen. That is what they are planning. And they are now pushing already, preparing us mentally for another fucking health crisis. They're doing it openly in front of our eyes. I mean, I saw that fucking Mbeki pitching up at the voting booth with a fucking mask on. Can you believe it? And I looked at it and I thought to myself, there, that's the first steps. They're beginning with their shit again. It's coming. But let's see what the final result is going to be. I'm just telling you, if you are a decent, right-minded person, you better open your fucking eyes, because Triple X is planning to wipe you out. And those guys sitting in America and sitting in Canada and sitting in England and sitting in Europe, you better open your fucking eyes. What is going to happen to you is something that you cannot imagine. You can't imagine. You have got millions of barbarians right in your midst. They're going to, I'm not going to say the word because then I get cock again with the channel, but go and look on the videos what they're planning for you. And you must understand, the long-term plan is your wipeout, not your survival. So either you go tribal and fight back, or you accept this liberal shit and book your coffin. Think about that. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.